I'm here sort of as a surprise. I also work for an organization called the Rudolf Nurejev Foundation, and I met Alexander Ilic through that foundation. We were working together in a project in Como in Italy, and I was giving a presentation about the importance of health and well-being for dancers. And Alexander immediately came to me and said how important it would be for the students here at the Institute, and invited me to come to Serbia. So it's been a very exciting surprise for me.
I got to know the Institute in Belgrade through Maciej Kuzmiński, that he is a teacher here and he is one of the really main people in the Institute, and he is Polish. So I know Maciej very briefly, and he just called me and he said, Natalia, I think you need to come to Belgrade. I think students and the Institute need a Gaga, a teacher. First of all, Gaga, it's not a technique, it's a movement language. It's like a workout class that was developed, and it's still developing by Ohad Naharin. He's the artistic director of Batsheva Dance Company in Tel Aviv in Israel. The main things about Gaga is that we are working without any mirrors, with no observers, with ongoing movement, without any stops, that we want to encourage dancers to really use the creativity and the fantasy also inside the effort. And because it's a movement language, there is a specific vocabulary that all of us as a teachers we are using during the class, and it's related very much to a personal journey that it's led by a teacher that it's moving with the students constantly. So the teacher is giving tasks to the people that they are taking a class, but at the same time the teacher is moving with all the people in the class. So whenever students they don't know what to do, they can always rely and look at the teacher to be inspired. Gaga class you cannot film, also because you cannot observe, so it's not allowed to have a video makers. Also no one can really watch the class, because it's very important for us as a teachers that the people that they are interested in Gaga, they will come and they will experience as a class in the physical experience. So you can come, you can watch, but the work that I'm doing now with students here in Belgrade, when I'm doing improvisation class or movement research class, or when we have choreography session. But in the Gaga, we need this privacy that no one is judging also us, that we can really spend time of our own individual research. In the end of the day, we don't have limits. We have limits in the head, but not so much in the body. So we can always go beyond our familiar places, and this is something that I feel Gaga it's a lot for me. It's really about going to places that I never visit, and to still have this safety net, which is pleasure in the Gaga class.
In order to have a sustained long career as a dancer, it's really important to take care of the body and also to take care of the mind. So we take care of the body by making sure that we feed it well, we make sure that it's hydrated, we also make sure that we have good amounts of rest from training. But to take care of the mind, we also need to be happy, and we need to have opportunities to rest our mind from the stresses that are inherent both in our lives and in our profession. So in order to be a healthy dancer and to have a long career, you need both the balance of healthy mind and healthy body, as well as time off for rest. Hydration is very important to a dancer's body. The body needs hydration in order to perform well, and many dancers are drinking only when they have time, so maybe between their classes or after they've finished or before they start dancing, and not taking enough hydration into their bodies when they're performing. So hydration is very important for making sure that blood travels around the body efficiently, and also that nutrients and oxygen get to the muscles that are needed. When I speak to dancers about nutrition, I always tell them that the most important thing to remember with nutrition is that your body needs good fuel. So you wouldn't ever drive your car a long distance and then put fuel in the car once you arrived. You would always make sure that you have fuel in your car enough to get you to where you're going. And so the most important thing for dancers is to understand that they need to put fuel in order to get performance out. And so some of the key aspects that we talk about for dancers are not necessarily the basics of nutrition, because I think they understand what sorts of things are healthy for them to eat, but the most difficult thing for dancers is trying to work out how to schedule time to eat well, time to cook, and to make sure that they have a budget to ensure that they can eat healthfully. Dancers tend to have many injuries which are preventable. So they may get an injury because perhaps they didn't warm up as well as they could have. Maybe they get an injury because they were tired. Maybe they get an injury because they didn't have enough time to take care of an injury that had happened before, and so it re-injures itself. And I think injury is one of the things that I talk about the most. And so it's sometimes frustrating for me. I'm so tired of talking about injury. I wish that dancers didn't get injured because I think it's a very stressful thing for them. But at the same time, an injury can help to teach dancers about how to care for their bodies better. So at the end of the day, we try to prevent the injuries we can prevent, and we try to make sure that dancers have as much education as they can about keeping their bodies healthy. In many training institutions, you have the basics of dance training. You take your classes and you have your rehearsals and you have performances. But the unique thing about the Belgrade Dance Institute is that you get to have a variety of different teachers from all over the world who can come and give knowledge and experience and advice to these dancers and allow them to grow in different ways, perhaps than they even expected themselves to grow. So I think they get a wonderful opportunity to have such a diversity of professors.
They are very nice, sometimes just a little bit too shy. I don't know, also like I didn't know what to expect. Like I didn't meet dancers from Serbia, so I was like, okay, I don't know how is the dance world in Serbia. So like till now, I feel that they are really nice as a group, as a student, but I want them to be a bit more wild and to just to open this channel of being mad inside the studio. Then outside they should be nice people and polite and good people, but inside the studio I want them also to sometimes get crazy and to see how they can use the animalistic instinct, the wildness of the body, something about this madness in this safety place of being in the studio with the teacher and with friends.
Students in the Belgrade Dance Institute are very inspiring. I think they are hungry for knowledge, and they are incredibly talented and passionate individuals. And I've really enjoyed getting to know them, even for a very brief period of time over these last 2 weeks. And I think they have a very bright future ahead of them. So it was wonderful to meet them, and I really look forward to seeing where they go.
I'm asking from them a lot, and I feel also they are very tired and that they are working very hard, but at the same time I really feel that they are curious and they are questioning a lot what they can do and how they can apply all the information from the Gaga, from improvisation, from the choreography with me.
I think my mission is to ensure that dancers understand how to care for themselves, and not just how to care for their bodies and for their minds and how to eat right and how to stay hydrated, but largely how to care for themselves as artists. I often say a quite controversial thing to my students, and that is that I love teaching dancers, and I think that dance is a very important art form. But I would rather that dancers that I teach are happy human beings than that they are wonderful dancers. And I tell them that I'm always excited to see their development as dancers, and I love to see them go and perform on stage. But the thing I love most is to see their happiness and their personal development as human beings. So this is my mission.
Gaga, it's a class. It's not so much a philosophy, but I feel for me, Gaga, it's a journey in many ways. I love Gaga. I'm Natalia Iwaniec. I'm Polish, currently based in London. I'm a dancer, choreographer, and a Gaga teacher.
My name is Erin Sanchez, and I am from an organization in the United Kingdom called One Dance UK. I'm their Healthier Dancer Program Manager.